Hello everyone, welcome to a market timing and market analysis update in preparation for fiscal week 10, which starts on Monday, February the 7th. So please like and subscribe if you find these recordings beneficial. Liking them will help me immensely in my efforts. I appreciate that. So this week we're going to look at the broad market very briefly, and then we're going to focus on the NASDAQ to see what's going on over there and see where we might find some sort of a support or a beneficial bounce for longer term swing trades instead of going short all the time. So in front of you here we have the broad market VTI ETF, which regular listeners will know as one of my favorites to figure out what the broad market is doing. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. So let me get some drawing tools here and we'll go through this a little bit. So week before last, we had this very attractive looking hammer candlestick that we talked about. What we needed was confirmation of this candlestick the following week, which you can see here didn't happen at all. So we sort of fell away from this candlestick, invalidated that as a bounce, although these things are all open for changes in the future. So let's go through this. Let's see. Last week we talked about a bullish divergence on the MACD, right? And typically a bullish divergence is when you have an indicator going up and you make a new low on the price chart. So that was a good indication last week, but not sufficient to think that we're going to have a strong bullish move anytime soon, at least from what these indicators are telling me. But we do have some strength in the on-balance volume. On the NASDAQ, we've got this continuing rot on the advanced decline line, and also, this is the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line, and this is the NASDAQ. Although it might be bottoming out, I can't even draw a straight line. It might be bottoming out a little bit here. We'll have to sort of wait and see. We got nothing except bearishness on the DMI/ADX indicator, and with the ADX in the 30s. It's still saying that the downtrend is increasing in strength. So let me point out one thing that's interesting on this chart is that we have this bullish divergence, which is encouraging. The problem is that you can't rely just on one indicator by itself, and I'll show you what I mean here. So for a long time on the weekly chart, let me get my pen back, we had this bearish divergence on the MACD. In other words, the MACD was decreasing while the prices were increasing. So that's a bearish divergence. So this went on, you could go back a year or two, I think, and see this bearish divergence. So although this was a warning, it wasn't conclusive that we were going to hit a top until we sort of get into this area here where the on-balance volume falls, the advanced decline line on both the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ started decreasing, and then of course we had this massive failure here. So although a bullish divergence is a good start, it's not a thing to depend on. You have to weigh all the factors together, and the factors that you weigh might be different than the factors that I weigh, but I think this has been fairly accurate over time. So let me get rid of these scribbles, and I'll get my pointer back, and we'll focus on the NASDAQ. I got a different chart on the NASDAQ for everybody this week. So what I did was I went back on the weekly chart and put in some support levels that I like. And let's take a look at these. So we still have this downtrend line above prices on the NASDAQ. We've got this death cross here where the 50 moving average has crossed the 200, which is not a good sign. We got the MACD below zero. We've got the unbalanced volume still decreasing, and we have nothing of positive bullishness on the ADX/DMI numbers, and of course we've got this continuing rot on the advanced decline line. So where do I think the NASDAQ might be going? Well, let's look at the most recent price action in relation to this support level. So I drew this support level that goes all the way back to this area. This over here, of course, is the COVID-19 breakdown, which we bounced immediately back from, looking at this green arrow here. And of course the MACD went above zero, which is what we're looking for, and the unbalanced volume improved, the DMI turned positive, and the advanced decline line finally got above this 9-day moving average, although it had some trouble in here. So it's not an individual indicator to look for. It's a preponderance of the evidence, like we're in court. So on the daily chart, we had a very strong bounce from this support level, which you can see on the weekly chart over here. And like we spoke about on the VTI, this hammer candlestick failed. We didn't get a follow through. It would have been nice if we could get up here, but that failed. So what do we expect for the next week? I really expect continuing weakness on the NASDAQ. And there's several reasons for that. First of all, we're in a downtrend. We've got this gap here that happened on Friday. We've got this lower support level here, which may end up creating a bottom. We'll have to find out and watch closely. So I would expect for this week's trading, we might continue down to this level where we'll get, I imagine, another bounce. That's a very strong level of support. But like I keep repeating every week, we need to get above and close above this support line. So I think we're trapped here between overhead resistance and support coming up from the bottom. So this creates volatility. So I think the recommendation for trading this week is continued caution across the market, especially in NASDAQ stocks. So please like and subscribe. Hope you have a great week trading, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.